Hi, my name is Dr. Aaron Lington, the coordinator of jazz studies at San Jose State University. I'm here to present you with a recording of this year's California All-State Baritone Saxophone music for 2020. I did a sample recording of it. Hopefully you'll be able to use it for your practicing. And this year's piece is called Undercurrent, and it's written by Newell Long. It's a theme and variations, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. The piece does have some cuts in it. You don't have to play the whole thing. We play the beginning of the piece up to rehearsal 6, and in your music there's a little star there that tells you that a cut can be made to rehearsal 11, which is what the next excerpt is. You start then pickups to 11 and then play to the end. So beginning to 6 and then pickups to 11 to the end. So what a theme and variations is that it's a simple melody that happens at the beginning of the piece, and it gets presented again and again in different variations. Sometimes it's a technical variation, sometimes a different meter, sometimes a different key, sometimes in a minor key. And that's what happens in this piece. So we have a short introduction, very strong at the beginning. I encourage you to use some vibrato on the longer notes. And we then pick ups to bar 8. We start with the theme of the piece, moderato tempo. I usually go about 92, somewhere in there, 90 to 92. I encourage you to use vibrato on the long notes. And the breath marks are marked in there right before rehearsal 1 and then in bar 15. And I encourage you to take a little bit of time, get a nice full breath. Don't be so concerned if you don't come back in exactly in time right after the breath. Take a good breath and then come back in when you're ready. Don't take too much time, but I'm just saying don't worry if you're not exactly with the metronome after those breath marks. Then our first variation happens after rehearsal 2. This is a sort of a scherzo type variation where we have a lot of triplets, very light staccato, and this is in the relative minor key of E minor. The main part theme is in G major, and this is now in E minor. There's a lot of switching back between melodic minor, where we have D sharps and C sharps, and sometimes harmonic minor, where we have D sharps and C naturals. So pay close attention to that and make sure you're getting all those accidentals in there the right way. Then the next variation happens after rehearsal 4, and this is sort of a marcato march-like section back in the original key of G major, the relative major key. So we have a lot of 16th notes and dotted 8th 16th note rhythms. So we want to make sure that those don't get too triplety sounding. Make those really different from the triplet rhythms that are found after it. So like ba-dee-dum, ba-da-dum, ba-da, 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 like really jerky rhythm to differentiate it from the ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, the triplet rhythm that you find right after that. So just make sure that those two rhythms are very different. Do a nice big ritardando at bar 45. And come back in a tempo in bar 48. And then we finish that variation up right before rehearsal 6. Coming back in, it pickups to 11. I would go, it says lively. It doesn't give an exact tempo marking, but I would pick the tempo up a little bit. If you were going 92 before, I might go 98, maybe 100, somewhere right in there. And we're going to play strong to the end. I do want to say that there is one confusing thing in measure 95. We have an F natural marked at the beginning of the measure on beat 1. And in some music, accidentals carry throughout the octave. And in some other types of music, it only affects the octave that it's on. But it definitely carries throughout the octave. So we do want another F natural on that second 16th note of beat 4 in bar 95. And I checked it with the piano score as well, and there are concert A flats all throughout that bar. So we definitely want F naturals on the baritone saxophone. I would take a breath if you need it after the dotted quarter note in 96, and again after the dotted quarter note in bar 98. Breath marks there are good. Make the 8th notes after each of the 16ths short. I would make it short, lifted. Bam, ba-da-dee, ba-da-dee, ba-da-deem. Rather than ba, ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da. Rather than going long, I would do lifted on those. If you can, just to maybe challenge yourself and set yourself apart from some of the other people auditioning, I would actually go ahead and play the sextuplet and the septuplet in measure 100 rather than taking the ossia passage, the slightly easier passage. So it's just the E flat major scale, concert G flat major scale, and you just gotta rip right through it and make sure you land on that low D on the downbeat of bar 101. And then we play it to the end, strong. So that's what this piece is about, and there's a lot of fun things in it. There's some tricky things in there and challenging things as well. But I encourage you to work real hard at it. There's some great things to learn, have some fun. And if you have any questions about anything that I said here in my comments or in my recording, I encourage you to email me anytime at aaron.lington@sjsu.edu. Thanks a lot for listening. Happy practicing, and good luck.